Welcome back from that quick short commercial break. You're still watching NBS Agribusiness, and tonight we will be looking at some innovative ways to raise corn. Most farmers do not harvest the maize after accomplishing the aforementioned and fail to maintain it well after handling. According to estimates, farmers in Uganda lose roughly 30% of their crop at this point. What then should a maize farmer do to improve yields?
One thing that we as farmers have to master is the art of harvesting. You could do all the other processes well. You have the right seeds, you have the best weeding methods, and you have the best fertilizers, and you have fenced the maize crops against all the pests. Everything is kawa. But this process of harvesting could make you lose everything. Because remember, I told you at 2 months we have completed the labor. So we are waiting for the harvesting. That is the job that we have. Harvesting is something very crucial because it turns what you have been doing into money, into cash. So here you have to be very attentive. One, you have to wait for the maize itself to do like this. This maize has to bend fast before you can harvest it from the stalk. Before it bends, you're harvesting something that is not ready. And however much you dry it, it will never meet the standards that we are required of as farmers. So after it has bent, you're ready to take it and dry it more. So harvest it, get it from the stalk, take it, remove all the fiber, take it as maize, but still on its stalk. Echikongoliro. Don't remove the chikongoliro. Take the chikongoliro with the maize, dry it more for at least a week or 2. Do not put the maize on the floor or in dust. 1, it is going to get dirty. The color of the maize will change. 2, the heat that comes directly from the soil will enter into the maize, and still the quantities and the qualities that we're expecting from this maize will be lost. So make sure you're drying them from some place that is raised, that is not on the ground, and make sure this place is clean. You can use tarpaulin, you can use anything that is plastic to make sure the heat that only dries this maize is from the sun. So after drying your maize well, you can remove it from chikongolio. You get the seeds. There are machines that we use here, and you could also find ways of removing the maize from the chikongolio. But make sure you don't beat the maize. Guys, I've seen you get the sticks and you beat the maize. You are going to create broken maize, and this broken maize is not maize, it's broken maize. So when you're selling it as maize, make sure, maybe if you know that you're going to, by the way, even beating it will also break the chikongoliro, and the chikongoliro will mix in the maize and you will not be able to separate. So if you have the machine, use it. And if you don't have the machine, at least take a whole year removing the kasoli from the what? There is no way you can have an acre of maize and you cannot afford the machine that will remove the maize from the chikongoliro. So be as vigilant, be as versatile as, because you don't need to buy it even. Some people hire them. So hire it, use it, let the owner take it, and you have your maize. If you're keeping your maize after removing it from the chikongoliro, make sure you keep it in an elevated place. Aerated and elevated. In the Uganda they call it ebyaji. Get the chaji. Have the maize raised. Make sure rain doesn't enter into the maize, and make sure heat from the soil do not disturb the maize still. And make sure air goes through well. It has to go through the store where you're keeping it as free as you can see it here. Because we need aeration. Remember, this maize is dry. So if the water goes into it, it will decompose. So when it is raised, and remember we have not put any preservatives. So the air itself will work as a preservative, and since the water is not there, the maize will last. And make sure these pests that can attack the maize in the store. So make sure you have put the pesticides around all the pods to make sure that no pesticides that can attack the maize. This maize this clean, the maize this clean will yield you a lot of money and will make sure that you are not as poor as some of us are, because you have the best quality. The poor quality is the reason we don't have the market. We cannot demand for any increment in our supply, because the supply is, first of all, little. Secondly, it is poor. Maize is dirty. The maize is not of standard. The maize is not heavy. The maize has a lot of issues, and you're expecting monies. How are you going to get the money when you don't have the standard? If you have the standard quality that we all want, 100% will yield from the maize. And these leftovers of the maize that we don't use, they are very, very nutritious to the animals. They are very nutritious, and this is manure still. If you don't have the animals, you can use them to fertilize or to mulch our gardens. So everything on maize is useful and important.
Drying techniques such as sun drying, mechanical drying, or utilizing heat-controlled systems have their advantages and disadvantages. Packaging is not just about aesthetics, it influences the shelf life and marketability of your maize. But what are the packaging options available, including the optimal material and techniques to ensure maize kernels stay fresh and protected? This when I return.